Apple is about to enter the foldable phone race in a massive way, and the device everyone's watching is the iPhone Ultra, Apple's first ever foldable iPhone. If the latest leaks are accurate, the launch is just weeks away, and the internet is already buzzing thanks to polished dummy units, hardware design previews, and early looks at iOS 27 features that appear built specifically for foldable screens. In this video, we're breaking down what the leaked iPhone Ultra Fold could actually be like in real life. Its design, thickness, hinge, camera bump, software experience, expected price, and the big questions Apple still needs to answer before asking people to spend Ultra-level money. Let's get into the iPhone Ultra leaks. First, the hardware. Recent leaked dummy units, reported to be polished and close to final dimensions, show Apple going for a premium, industrial look with a cleaner hinge mechanism, slimmer bezels, and a redesigned camera plateau on the back. And it looks exactly like what you'd expect from Apple. Minimal, expensive, and engineered to feel like a single solid object even though it literally folds in half. But the same leaks also highlight the first major concern: thickness. According to these dummy measurements, the iPhone Ultra could be around 12.3 millimeters thick when folded. That's not automatically a deal breaker, but it becomes a real conversation point when you compare it to thinner foldable competitors that have spent multiple generations shaving down hinge size and folded bulk, and thickness isn't just a spec sheet issue. It impacts pocket comfort, one-hand use, and how the phone feels when you're holding it closed like a normal iPhone. If Apple's first foldable feels too chunky day-to-day, that could instantly push it into cool tech demo territory instead of daily driver. Next concern: the edges. The dummy units reportedly show sharper edges than some users may prefer, especially for a larger, heavier device. Sharp, squared-off edges can look premium, but they can also dig into your hand during long sessions, reading, gaming, scrolling, or using the device unfolded like a small tablet. For an ultra-premium foldable, comfort matters just as much as aesthetics. Apple can't just make it look expensive. It has to feel great for hours at a time in multiple grips and orientations. Now let's talk hinge and durability, because this is where foldables live or die. The leaked design suggests a refined hinge mechanism, likely slimmer and more polished than early foldable generations from other brands. Apple's approach is usually to wait until it can deliver a more mature solution, and the iPhone Ultra hinge is expected to reflect that. Smoother motion, tighter tolerances, and less flex or wobble over time, but the hinge is only half the durability story. The other half is the camera module. Leaks
show the iPhone Ultra using a raised camera plateau and
elevated section on the back housing the lenses. It looks clean, but the concern is structural. On a foldable phone, every millimeter counts, and every raised component becomes another point that can take impact, catch pressure inside a bag, or create uneven stress when placed on surfaces. Apple is clearly prioritizing camera performance, but if that camera plateau sticks out too much, people are going to question long-term durability, especially at the price this phone is expected to command. Which brings us to the biggest upgrade that could make or break the iPhone Ultra. iOS 27 leaks and previews suggest iOS 27 is being tuned for foldable functionality, not just stretched to fit a bigger screen. And if Apple is serious, software will be its greatest advantage over every foldable competitor. The key feature being discussed is dynamic adaptability, apps that seamlessly resize and reflow, depending on whether the iPhone Ultra is folded, partially folded, or fully open. That includes adapting to different angles, different aspect ratios, and different use modes without awkward cropping, broken layouts, or phone app on a big screen vibes. And if Apple gets this right, the iPhone Ultra could deliver what foldable fans have always wanted: a device that feels like one product, not two screens glued together. Now let's talk multitasking. iOS 27 is rumored to bring stronger multitasking features designed around foldables, like running two apps side by side in landscape mode, making the unfolded iPhone Ultra feel closer to an iPad mini experience for productivity. That means real workflows: email next to a document, chat next to a browser, calendar next to notes, video call next to a file manager style view. This is the kind of capability that turns a foldable from fun into useful. And then there's a feature that sounds like it was built for creators and professionals: Dual-camera FaceTime.leaks claim iOS 27 may allow simultaneous use of the front and rear cameras during FaceTime calls. Imagine being on a call while also showing what you're seeing with the rear camera, without switching camera views and without interrupting the conversation. If this works smoothly, it's perfect for remote troubleshooting, product demos, live collaboration, teaching, real estate walkthroughs, and content creators who want more flexible communication tools built into the system. Now, as exciting as iOS 27 sounds, there's a huge reality check. Apps. Apple can optimize iOS all day, but foldables only feel premium if third-party apps fully support the format. That's why Apple is reportedly preparing developer tools specifically for foldable screens. Tools that make flexible layouts, responsive UI elements, and variable aspect ratios easier to implement. The goal is simple. When you unfold the iPhone Ultra, your favorite apps shouldn't break, stretch, or waste space. They should look like they were designed for it. If Apple can get major developers on board early, social apps, creative tools, productivity apps, the iPhone Ultra immediately becomes more than a first-generation product. It becomes a platform. Now let's talk about something that's already frustrating a lot of people: customization. One rumor says the iPhone Ultra may launch in only one color: white. If that happens,
It's a risky move.
foldables are premium, fashion-forward devices, and competing brands often use colors and finishes as a major selling point. Limiting the iPhone Ultra to a single color could make it feel less personal, especially when it's supposed to be Apple's new status symbol tier. But there's also a logical reason Apple might do it: production control. With a first-gen foldable, Apple may want to reduce complexity, improve yields, and keep supply predictable. A single finish at launch could be Apple choosing reliability over variety, at least in year one. Now the price, because this is where the iPhone Ultra stops being interesting and becomes a serious purchase decision. Leaks suggest the iPhone Ultra could land somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500. That puts it in the ultra premium bracket instantly, competing with top foldables like Samsung's Galaxy Fold line. Except Apple will be asking buyers to trust a first-generation Apple foldable at a price where expectations are brutal. At that price, people won't accept compromises easily. They'll ask, why is it thicker than competitors? They'll ask, why is there only one color? They'll ask, how durable is the hinge after a year? They'll ask, what happens if the inner display gets scratched? They'll ask, does the camera plateau make it more fragile? They'll ask, is iOS 27 foldable multitasking actually better than what Android foldables already do? And Apple needs strong answers because the iPhone Ultra isn't just a phone. It's a statement product. So what impact could the iPhone Ultra have on the foldable market? If Apple delivers a foldable that feels like a true extension of the Apple ecosystem, with iOS 27 smoothness, app support that doesn't feel experimental, and hardware that screams premium, the iPhone Ultra could instantly legitimize foldables for millions of people who've never considered buying one. For professionals and power users, the appeal is obvious: pocketable device, tablet-style screen, better multitasking, and Apple-level integration with Mac, iPad, and services. But if the real-world experience is weighed down by thickness, comfort issues, limited customization, or durability concerns, then the iPhone Ultra could stay a niche luxury product, owned by early adopters and hardcore Apple fans, while mainstream buyers stick with the Pro models. Either way, the iPhone Ultra foldable launch is shaping up to be one of Apple's most important hardware moments in years. Because if Apple gets foldables right, it doesn't just join the category, it takes it over. And if Apple gets it wrong, the foldable iPhone becomes the most expensive first attempt in smartphone history. So the real question is simple: when Apple finally unfolds the iPhone Ultra, will it feel like the future of the iPhone? Or just an iPhone that folds?